everyone. Welcome to the Consecrated Woman. Today we have a very fun, loving, and insightful discussion coming ahead. And I have very great women of God who love God, who are serving God in their communities and in many ways. So they are women who are really creating an impact in the lives of others. And so, as you watch and listen, I do pray that you learn a lot and the Lord blesses you as you listen to how to cultivate and how to nurture godly relationships. So, do stay tuned, stay blessed as you listen. Firstly, I just want to introduce the ladies. Just on my right, I have Winnie Williamson, and then I have Juliana Ige, and then we have Samantha Henry. Yes. So, I guess the first question will be to Winnie. I just wanted you to share with us what your singlehood season was like. What were the good stuff, the bad stuff, the challenges you had?
Okay. Thanks for having me here. Being when I was single, it had its highs and lows. Prior to coming to Christ, as a single woman, I found a lot of challenges, as in who to date.
Yes.
And I was in a relationship at the time, didn't really know God. I was in and out of church. I was actually serving on the PowerPoint team, but I was in and out. I wasn't sold 100% in the ministry that I was in. So I was dating the wrong person. I knew that wasn't the right person God has for me, but I was still dating him anyway, regardless. But once I transitioned from that to coming back to Christ, it changed. My perspective changed as to what God really wanted me to, who to date at the time. So how that changed was I became born again. And in that season too, God led me to get baptized. And that really gave me a new perspective of what to look for in a man. And it came from that shift happened where I had to change a certain thing, like the characters that I was looking for in a man, the list of things that I wanted, the qualities that he should have as a man of God. So in that moment, it also came with a lot of talk from the community I was in. People were telling me who I should be dating and who I shouldn't be dating. But ultimately, what really helped was coming back to God and asking God for who is the right one for me. And I always asked God for a man that would actually want him, a man of Christ, a man that is after his own heart. That was one of my main prayer points. But it wasn't happening. So I kept surrendering everything to God, just praying and seeking. And God also led me to know that whether I end up getting married or not, He's the ultimate relationship I should be seeking at the time. And it really helped shift my focus from wanting a husband. It was mostly my focus was all for God at the time. So that's how my singlehood towards leading to getting married was like.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I think it's very important for us to keep in mind that whether we get into a relationship or not, God really is the ultimate goal. That a relationship or getting married should not be what drives us all the time. Because if that drives you and God does not give that to you, then you lose Christ. You tend to let go of Him because He didn't give you this. So thank you. What about Juliana? Do you have anything to add up to that?
Just a little. I think with me when I was single, I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, I saw it as a time that you have to enjoy because in life you have to learn to, just embrace every moment and enjoy it, right? Because when it's over you can't go back to it. So it was a time whereby I made a lot of friends. I just take naps on Sundays after church and my mom would be asking, "You're always taking naps." I'm like, because when I get married and I have kids, I can't really be taking naps. So I was really enjoying that moment. I wasn't really focusing on or I'm looking for someone. I just wanted to focus on myself, get to really understand who I am. I wanted to know what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and even discovering yourself, knowing what you want. Because sometimes you might think you know what you want, right? But you don't really know what you want. You need to spend the time to know yourself. Analyze what your weaknesses are. So that was me when I was single. So I was able to have the idea of what I want, to be able to ask God what I need and what he knows is best for me. So that was basically it. But yeah.
That's great. What about Samantha? Do you have anything else?
Yes. Similarly, but I'll add, I think when I think about my singleness, so it's interesting because I think maybe it had been about a year or so since I rededicated my life to Christ. I probably was about 2021. And I just remember having just this that first love zeal for all things of God, all kingdom. Lord, be my everything. Lord, I just want to spend time with you. I want to go to church. I want to serve you. I want to listen to worship. I want to read my Bible. So I felt very consumed in that intimacy. To the point where I think was in a season of healing and shedding and healing from a prior relationship and trying to, I think, understand this new, what it means to be born again. So I feel like my mind was very single tracked in that way. To the point where I think I got to the point where I was like, you know what, Lord, if you're calling me to be like Paul, I'm okay, I'm good. I want to be content. And I think I did reach there. But even though I reached there, I do remember feeling because I think a lot of my peers were dating, were in relationships, or at least talking about their future spouses and husbands. And I just remember my mind not being there and kind of questioning oh, is there something wrong? Why I'm not, that's not the desire for the time. But when the time came, Because I remember, one day, I think I was going on a walk. I was going on a prayer walk, and I just felt the Holy Spirit saying, start opening yourself up to being pursued. And I remember being why? I'm okay now. I'm content. This is good. So I was okay. And then I would feel start praying for your future spouse. Just little things like that. But if one thing looking back, I would tell myself, just enjoy the time that you have. The time of just having that intimacy with God, that time being able to know yourself, that time being able just even to heal without another having to do that, besides somebody else.
Thank you all. That was really great perspectives, and I like that it's quite different for everybody. Some going through healing, some going through enjoying the process, but obviously most people don't enjoy the process as much. It's only after you come out of it then you realize that, I should have been joyful. I should have been closer to God. I did have a similar experience like Samantha. I got to a point where it was after a church camp, and then I felt so closer to God. I had an encounter with God, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to get married. I just want to go into ministry. I didn't even want to go to school, but I gained admission to a really top school. So I was like, I'm just letting everything go and pursue ministry. But then God had plans for me that within a year or so I was going to get married, right? So yes, I think we should embrace every season, knowing that God is with us in every season, not to be sorrowful about certain things. Because, like we said, God is going to separate you sometimes for healing, for growth, for you to know yourself.